It is another Tuesday, and that can only mean one thing. It is another episode of the Protection United podcast. Jake Wilson, as always, alongside the man, Jay Mickens. Jay, it was an action-packed weekend. A lot of things going on, a lot of traveling going on as well, but just an exciting weekend to be a sports fan.
Brother, exciting, man. Before we jump into our guys here as a part of the Protect You crew, we got to show love. I went 3-1 in fantasy.
Good stuff.
4
Jay.
leagues,
Good stuff.
3 dubs. I'm currently 1-1 in all 4 of my leagues now because remember I went 1-3 last week. So tough week, but my boys bounced back. Got a crazy. Let me tell you this crazy story.
Go for it.
So I have Amari Hampton, the running back for the Chargers, right? At the end of the game, he fumbles, and so I was up by 1.5 points, and then I ended up losing that point. So I was going to lose. I'm like, oh crap, But they end up giving the fumble to Justin Herbert because the ball was not in his stomach.
How kind of them.
Very kind. So thank you, fantasy managers or whoever's in charge of making that call, the NFL, Roger Goodell, whoever it is, thank you. Because I ended up winning by 0.74.
I'm going to one up you here, Jay.
Okay.
I had an even slimmer margin of victory in one of my leagues.
Okay.
So last week went 3-0, had an excellent start to the season. This week, 2-1, and that one loss was, I always hate these types of situations I would have beaten everybody else in the league except for the guy that I played.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the guy I played who dropped 150 on ESPN's PPR league, which is insane.
Yeah.
To breach over 130 is pretty solid. 150 is unheard of, but it was a solid performance for my guys. Just needed a little bit more. Aaron Jones was a letdown this weekend.
Hamstring injury there.
Yes. So that was a big letdown. Yeah. But then my dynasty league. This is a dynasty with a super flex. My super flex, I made the mistake of putting in Geno Smith, who now leads the league in interceptions. In his place, I had on my bench Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I did not have faith that Russ was going to do.
Yeah.
He turned back the clock and made it look like it was 2013.
Brother, he did. He did.
That game, Jay, I won by 0.02.
Okay. A dub's a dub.
That it is.
A dub's a dub.
So I'm still undefeated in 2 of my leagues, 1-1 in the other.
I love it. And look, I can't wait to get some of our guys on our fantasy squad, right? One in particular behind your head.
Yes.
Will be one that could potentially be fun if that happens.
Yeah, no doubt, because you have been following Jalen all throughout his college journey so far. From going and seeing the games to dropping off furniture at the town, just everything, the super dad of what college kids could always use. And you were there in person and got to see firsthand our first college first for a Protect You crew member of Jalen's first career collegiate touchdown.
Yeah, brother. Look, client, also son, right? It was one of those deals, man. Such a surreal moment. Him getting his first touchdown. Game 3, right? He's only played 3 games collegiately. It was one of those deals where you come into and you kind of start reminiscing and going back in time of, how he got to La Tech. What did he do to get there? How he made the decision to go to Louisiana Tech and choose them over the other offers that he had in the process that him and I went through, right? And to kind of see it unfold, and not to say that it would have been a bad decision if he would have chose somewhere else, but we only can speak on what we know, right? And what we know is that Louisiana Tech was a school that fell in love with Jalen right out the gate, and they stayed in love with him. He gets up there and spring ball dominates, coming out of fall camp, competing against the transfer portal, right? A junior comes in, great young man, by the way. He follows Protection United too. I think he might want to come be a part of the crew. But going in and out every 2 series, and he gets his time to shine and got his first TD. And it wasn't a regular touchdown there, Jake. What a quick slant. You look at this.
No, it was not. Dare I say it was reminiscent of what he was doing at Willis, breaking through the coverage, reaching for the end zone. Just showing every last bit of what he had here. This clip, obviously, courtesy of the ESPN broadcast. That must have been such a surreal feeling for you, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, going nuts in the stands. You see him catch it. You're thinking it's going to be a good 20-yard completion, and then But great block by Singleton, right? I got to give props to 16. He shielded off that other DB that was on him and did a phenomenal job, right, coming across with that. But yeah, I think Jalen learned from his old high school days. You better get in when you can get in because you might not see that ball anymore. So definitely proud. I love this clip. Elbows up, legs are extended. He left no doubt to the refs that I was still up and I got across. Please don't bring in the big boys and do
no need to do. You
push.
say no need to do a video review.
Nope.
Leave no doubt.
Nope.
Leave no doubt. And these two, great video, and now the picture, obviously courtesy of Louisiana Tech. They do a fantastic job getting out there doing game coverage. I like the red, white, and blue helmet too, with the American flag in there on the La Tech logo.
Yeah, man. The combos are nice.
So much about this just looks right. So much about it.
The red unis, the blues, the red, blue, red. The red, blue, white. It's nice.
Yes.
I gotta give them props to whoever's in charge of coming up with it. Obviously, Adidas school, but it's clean.
Yeah.
The stripes on the pants, all that. And now, of course, we're big here at Protect U United in regards to other videos, right? We have talked about the fans wanting to give their video, and we promised you guys from Jump Street, if you put a video out, we will show it. This is courtesy of Jalen's fiance, Hannah. Hannah Avila, right? And Hannah Avila. There, I got it right.
There you go.
There we go.
But
look at the excitement of this. Computer Jesus, if you let that just roll again when it ends. It was a lot.
No doubt. A lot of excitement in that, a lot of pent-up energy looking for that type of play. And on top of that, beyond the monumental achievement that it is, it was just an exciting play to watch. Breaking through all that coverage, diving for the end.
Look at the camera. It's like the Blair Witch Project. It's just, it went from the field, now it's up in the air,
we're down in the stands.
Yeah.
We're lucky to be holding on to the phone still.
Yeah. Seriously, I dropped my phone. I gave her props. I was like, Hannah, the fact that you were able to still hold on to your phone, because I just dropped mine. I literally found it underneath the bleachers maybe 5 minutes after the touchdown because I was still going nuts. I couldn't believe it, right? It was a penalty on the play. We didn't know what happened. It was unsportsmanlike celebration on another kid. But then, and then of course, right, post game, my kid finally comes out in his uniform. We've been asking him to do it for the past 2 games. He was like, no, I'm gonna shower and get dressed. Y'all can wait. He didn't mind coming out, Jake, this time. What did the kid end up with? What was the stats?
4 catches, 72 yards, and then obviously that touchdown in a very exciting win for Louisiana Tech, 49-14 over New Mexico State.
Dude, yes.
What more could you say? What more could you say?
There's nothing else to say. You always, as a coach, you get caught up in daddy ball, right? And so I was always anti that, trying to make sure that it wasn't all about him. And then even with what we're doing here at Protection United, right? Not calling companies in regards to outside endorsements because it needed to make sense first, right? We're big on, striking when the iron's hot. Well, let's just say that Jalen Mickens is now hot, right? So companies, y'all get ready for our amazing executive assistant, Madison, who just had a birthday. I think she turned 26, right? 26. And so y'all be ready. Madison will be reaching out. But, just a great opportunity because, I've always wanted Jalen to be able to stand on his own 2 feet and not what, I could do for him or his mom could do for him or just, anybody else, right? And the fact that we're able to let him shine and now people can see, right? All the naysayers of, well, he's only doing this because of what you did and you had a select tackle football organization and you had this and that. That doesn't mean anything when it comes to playing college football because those college coaches are going to play the guys that won't get them fired.
Yeah.
That's just the name of the game. And we all know Coach Cummings is a great man, but La Tech wants to win. And if they don't win, Coach Cummings might not have a job. And so the fact that him and his staff have believed in Jalen from day one and have given him the opportunities, and I think you see what we've seen here, right, for years, that you put the ball in his hands and he's going to do something special.
Yeah, and I feel like that speaks to a lot of what you've been saying in the lead up to what Protection United has been able to prove throughout this early football season of finding the right home. And you phrase it so eloquently of not finding the team that likes you, but finding the team that is in love with you, finding the team that will really be that first home away from home for a player. And it speaks volumes to the lack, if you will, of what measurables can really present in a player, where Jalen is shorter than most wide receivers would like to be at that Division I level, but you're able to see it out there on the field that the effort speaks for itself way more than his height ever will. And it shows through that effort in the touchdown play of, you put the ball in my hands, I'm going to make something special happen.
Yeah, Jake. And as you can see, I mean, he's doing it, right? And you never know what's going to happen when you get to the college level, right? How many kids have we seen dominate the high school level, but then they get up collegiately where all those guys were the dudes on their team, or at least one of them. But yeah, I mean, to see him do it, the fact that he was in high school last year still blows my mind. It's not like he's a redshirt freshman, right? They had to get acclimated. They just threw him in, right? They threw the pup, in the big den of Bulldogs. And they're all loving him up there. And big game against Southern Miss this coming up week. Be at home again, and that's a step up. Southern Miss is in the Sun Belt, where La Tech is getting ready to head to, right? They're joining the Sun Belt Conference next season. So they're going to get an early taste of what that, life is like. Still group of 5, but in my opinion, Sun Belt is the second best conference next to the AAC in regards to the group of 5. So be fun, excited, and see if the kid can duplicate what he did last weekend.
Yeah, and we jump from one first now to another, where we have another pillar player here of the Protect U crew, one of the banner members of the Protect U crew, and that is none other than Dylan Kinney. We've been hyping this guy up for a while now, but he finally gets to show his stuff in his first game for the TCU Horned Frogs. Looking good, went from one purple and white school to another, but now he finally gets to do it. And fittingly enough, too, he got to get his first appearance in a TCU uniform against Abilene Christian, Jay.
100%.
History does not repeat itself, but it does often rhyme.
Definitely. You're right about that, Jake. And I will add that TCU's purple is a little bit richer.
That it is.
It's a little more of a richer purple.
That Nike purple, it's a little bit different in a TCU uniform.
It does, and in other ways too. But yes, definitely, excited for Dylan, to get to go against his old school. The fact that we played, such a pivotal role in everything that Dylan did from leaving Abilene. He knew that he was ready for the show. Gave Abilene, amazing, 2 years, 2.5 seasons. And, but he knew that he could, move and play on that P4 level. And, we're just blessed that we, were contacted by Rod Kinney, one of my favorite parents. Rod's the guy. Rod, I know you're watching. You the man, baby. But you got Rod Kinney reaching out to us saying like, hey, look, my son's in the portal. I don't want to be in this line with 5,000 other kids. I know Protection United, y'all have connections with these college coaches. Help me help my son, right? And so getting to see Dylan not only get to live his dreams in regards to getting to play on that big level, but to also have a nice compensation package that we also negotiated on his behalf, he couldn't be in a better scenario, right? When he got interviewed before the game, he talked about getting to play against some of his old, friends, right? Teammates. He's still cool with those guys. And I know all those guys are happy for him. Also, the coaches are happy for him as well because they get it. They understand that this is a business now. This is a new world of NIL that we live in. And for Dylan Kinney to have the opportunity to get to go play for the Horned Frogs and do what he's doing up there, man, I'm so happy that he's recovered from the injury. He expected to play in that North Carolina game, but he didn't get released until the week after the game. But getting to see him out there against his old team and dominate, right, Jake?
Yep.
I mean, according to your breakdown and what our internal team did when they watched the entire game, is it true he gave up 0 sacks?
0 sacks from his position. He did talk to me before the season started about finding his role in the offensive line, having to move around and then really find the position that suited him best. And he does feel like that is the guard position, that left guard right up there next to the center position. Mm-hmm. And he didn't allow a single sack the entire game from his position, Jay. Wow. Shout outs to, again, Madison for hooking us up and getting the insider insight on that one as well. But it does speak really well to finding that right fit. We talked about it with the upcoming freshman with Jalen, but now we talk about it with finding the right place in the transfer portal. those are really hard things to try and work out. Moving coaching staffs, moving personnel, and then obviously the money that comes into it after the fact are all things that you have to keep in mind. But Dylan and Rod placed a lot of trust in Protection United to make sure that TCU was the right landing spot. And it was a soft landing spot. You didn't have to go in and immediately be the guy. Obviously, it'd be nice for him to be the guy, but there are already built-in pieces that were able to create a stronger platform for Dylan to better show off his skills. He talked with me about how the guys in the TCU locker room love to take the film room seriously. And he admits that that's something that he didn't really lend himself to while he was at Abilene Christian. So now he has the stuff behind the scenes, the tools, if you will, to fine-tune his game to be the best player he can at this next level. And clearly it paid off. No sacks allowed in a 42-21 win over Abilene Christian for the Horned Frogs. And what a performance it was.
It was.
What a performance it was.
It was.
And sticking in Funky Town in Fort Worth, we have, of course, a player that we've mentioned a couple of times throughout this very early run of the athletic season. But how you say it, Jay? You continue the ball, you're going to get the call.
Hey, exactly. I mean, geez, like, look, if you're sick and tired, whichever camera I need to be here, whatever, put it on me, Computer Jesus. I want to lock in on just my camera, so I want the world that's watching right now. If you're sick and tired of hearing about the First Lady, a.k.a. Samara Coleman, a.k.a. the Queen of Protection United, then just turn it off because she is balling out. If we don't cover her every weekend based off what she's doing and the performance that she's doing, then we're not doing our jobs. At the end of the day, you're looking at a true freshman that was originally committed to Pitt. She leaves. We get her to TCU. Another success story here, Protection United. But let's keep the main thing the main thing. What she's doing on the court, in my opinion, is unheard of. This young lady was on the bench. She was frustrated. She knew she deserved to play. And everybody says that. Everybody wants to say, I deserve to play. I deserve to be out there. She's proving that.
Yes.
What she is doing, Jake, what she is doing of taking advantage of a situation of an injured, that's the only reason she got on the court. That's the thing that's crazy to me is that an injury is what she got on. Nobody wants to wish that on a teammate, but you talk about taking advantage of your opportunities when those opportunities are presented. I think some people like to call that luck. I like to call that being prepared because not only did Samara listen and open the door when opportunity came knocking, but she kicked that mofo in. Computer Jesus, please roll the highlights.
Yes, and quite the highlights they are. You may see there on the bottom screen, obviously this taken from the FS1 broadcast of the game, but TCU hosting number 8 Texas A&M, a team that is likely to make a push for the national title, but Samara gets an ace in a very late appearance against Texas A&M. Jay, there's some clips here that we're going to keep rolling through. Obviously, some great highlights. She's up to...
Look at her holding the ball up there like she's hooping. I mean, that girl, this swag on her. I mean, I love how she has her hair up. Like, I mean, just the smile. Look at the happiness and oh, man, the elevation. Look at her.
And coming from a volleyball purist, too, moving to both sides of the net as well is a very hard thing to pull off. Traditionally, outside hitters, you stick with one side or you stick with the other. But here we see her from the left side of the net, down in the kill, away from the libero, inside of the soft zone of the Texas A&M back line. Quite the showing for a true freshman to be doing those types of numbers.
But look at the spike or the kill, excuse me. Spike is a beach volleyball, huh, Jake? The kill. I mean, do you see the force behind it? Who's digging that out?
Nobody.
I'm giving you the Key Sweat version. Nobody. That and look at that, bro. I mean, that was like a change-up serve. The ball just dies. Samara's on a look at her. She's like, look, I told y'all, just put me in. I've been telling y'all that since spring.
Yeah.
I think that's what she said. If she didn't, that's what I'm gonna say. She said, right? She's smiling, she's happy. I love the little heel toe that they do. Like, but look at that. She's like, come on. Like, I mean, the only thing left for her to do was the Jordan shrug.
Yes. That'd be the only thing.
That's the only thing that's left. But no, I mean, look, it's a reason that she is a pillar, right? As you like to say there, Jake. And I'm very proud of Samara.
Yes, and it was a very strong showing for her as well. 19 kills and 2 aces against the number 8 team in the country. She is now up to 37 kills on the season, which is good enough for 6th on the team. For an outside hitter and not the tallest member on the team, that's insane numbers to be putting up. 24 sets played, which is also 9th on the team. And TCU now sits at 7-1 and number 9 in the country, the highest ranking in the history of the TCU volleyball team.
Wow.
Tremendous stuff.
So before we transition, we got one question for you, Jake.
Sure.
They're 7-1, like you just said, correct?
That's true. 7 wins in a row.
How many games did Samara started? Yeah.
That one I'm not entirely filled in on. Go for it. Go
7.
Shoot.
7. That's what I'm telling you. 7.
Man.
7.
I may see some correlation or some causation here, Jay.
You know, it might be 6 because the injury might have happened game 2, but it happened so early.
Yes.
That it's almost like.
There's a little bit of correlation.
And that was a top 5 team in the nation that things could have went south.
Very true.
So I'm going to give her the start on that.
No, absolutely.
I'm biased.
5 ranked wins for TCU as well, which is also a program record for a single season. And they got a big test coming up tomorrow. They will hit the road to play the University of Texas Longhorns, who sit undefeated on September 17th on ESPNU. So we got a nationally televised game going down between Samara Coleman, TCU Horned Frogs, and the Texas Longhorns. Will be one heck of a test.
It will. And big shout out to Rod Kinney. Hey, guys, keep hitting us up. Feel free to hit us on the YouTube. Computer Jesus is actually looking at YouTube right now. If y'all want to comment, say anything, he will read off as many questions as well as comments as we can as we flow through the show. But our guy Rod Kinney basically said that he sees a renegotiation for the Queen coming up in Funky Town because, AKA, she's balling.
Yeah.
So, hey, Rod Kinney, look at that. A Horned Frog parent to another Horned Frog parent coming to Protection United. We're going to have to go up there and renegotiate, Jake. And what perfect timing considering that we got lunch tomorrow with the GM, Mr. Todd Wright. So we're excited to get up there and get to see the new facilities that TCU has for all the NIL collective guys. They're currently moving in right now, and I can't wait, right? And and I think we will bring up Samara maybe after we order, right before the salad gets there.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Is that a good time?
Give it a little time to digest what has just been said in more ways than one. A little time to digest in more ways than one. But, you know, it's a tremendous opportunity for Protection United, for having those types of connections and now being able to deepen it even farther with having that mutual one-on-one connection with the people at the top of the pyramid, if you will, at TCU.
Great guys over there.
Gracious invite, gracious opportunity to host, and we can't speak highly enough of what TCU has been able to do in this developmental stage. And now we've been fueling up the rocket, Jay, as you like to phrase it. Now we're really starting to take off. And
we are, Jay.
It definitely feels like Samara and a handful of the other great collegiate members of the Protect U crew have been the ignition that has started to boot us up into this next level. And it's a lot of the behind the scenes people as well, the people that you're not going to see the highlights of, you're not going to see the recaps of, that have been the biggest players in Protection United's success. And one of them is Coach JJ.
Coach JJ.
Cajun Justin, as we sometimes call him as well. We got a lot of Justins and a lot of J's here at Protection United, but Coach JJ and Young Bulls pulling through for us again. They were the catalysts that really helped to set up the Louisiana takeover and what we dubbed the first Protection United Expo. Set us up with some great connections, some great people that were able to make it out to that one. Tylen George, Alex Fontenot, Rush Wilson were a handful of the guys that just immediately come to mind for me. The Savages as well were at that one, but just great people and a great opportunity to connect. And the connection has come to fruition yet again. A great opportunity here to announce that Protection United will be hitting the road once again to take over D-Town. Dallas is the next landing spot for the Protection United Expo, and an opportunity for us to connect with some very talented guys up there in that Metroplex area. Riches and riches of talent up there in D-Town. And it obviously has a huge part to do with Coach JJ and Young Bulls helping us create those connections.
Exactly, Jake. And I mean, so excited, right? You know, second expo, you know, we had a very successful one in Louisiana, and now we're getting ready to head to the Big D. Thankful for, just our team here, right? Speaking of people that don't get a lot of credit, right? The attorneys here, right? We've been blessed to partner up and work with some amazing attorneys that not only understand contracts and how to read through, any kind of litigation, but they also help with, reading outside endorsement contracts, also, NFL contracts. So we, so thankful for them for, coming in, lifting the hood up, right, at Protection United and allowing them to kind of poke holes and then realize, yes, you guys are a recruiting service company because you are helping athletes get recruited by college coaches. And you also are helping brand and promotion, which, there's nothing illegal about that. And UIL does not frown upon us, supporting those athletes in that regard. And so excited as the ones that have been following and watching, right? We've been showing love to a good number of our kids here in Houston, and I can't wait to get up to Dallas and to, kind of go meet with some more 4-star athletes as well as some 3 stars and some other ones that, might not be on that level yet, but they're right on the cusp, and they just need a little extra push and a little extra support to get to where they ultimately want to get.
And I feel like that's very undervalued too, as well, to the recruitment aspect of it. Of sometimes these guys just need to get their names out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very clear to us that places like this, places like the podcast and what we're able to do on social media does matter.
Right.
Because you've talked about several times of you get phone calls and you get text messages right out the gates, right after we finish shooting. These coaches want to know these guys right now. And so it's a great opportunity to continue to expand that player base in the great Lone Star State, but we're allowed to do it. That's so awesome. If you sign up with Protection United, we can promote you right here, right now. That's so cool. It just gets me excited.
I know.
Jay.
Well, I know, man. And that's, what us doing what we do. Everyone here has a giving heart at Protection United. We've all volunteered.
Yeah.
Right. We've all volunteered our time. I mean, from, BJ Scoggin, our director of player development. We were on a Zoom last night. He's helping coach youth football still, right? 25 years in the game, and he's still volunteering, right? Jake, how many times did you volunteer, right, at your former job, going and calling games for Little League football games, right? Obviously, I've done the same from the rec leagues to select football, Madison, right, getting film. Everyone that's been a part of Protection United, has done things. Derek Lagway, supporting, coaching, right, in North County. Everyone has done, their role, and now we've all come together. And so I'm with you on that. I'm excited because there's not a better feeling in the world is when you help a young man or a young lady find their new home and then see the happiness and joy that we saw on Samara Coleman's face, some, video clips ago, or Dylan Kinney's mom, crying, right? When I, take them to dinner to celebrate him going to TCU and like seeing her just look and just so thankful. Like those is what we're here for, right? And to me, that's what gets me more excited than anything else that we do here at Protection United.
And so we talk about a lot of growing the player base, growing Protection United's network, and adding new members to the crew. And we got some special announcements to make for some more Lone Star love. Starting out with a guy that I was very excited when we were talking about, hey, this guy might join Protection United. It was like, oh, Jay, we got to get this guy.
Yeah.
And that is, of course, a guy that you and I have covered very closely for these past couple of years.
Yes.
The Swiss Army knife of the College Park Cavaliers, and that is Marco Beltran as the newest member of the Protection United crew. And look at that man go right there.
I love Marco.
Obviously, sleek graphics, obviously courtesy of our social media team at Cinco, but listed as a safety, but I like to liken him a little bit more as a utility guy for what he's been doing at College Park.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've known Marco since he was 7 years old. I was his first Little League football coach, and, just was a joy to coach from Jump Street. He was always looking me in my, just in my eyes, but he had big eyes, and you could tell everything that you're teaching this young man, even at the age of 7, he was just letting it soak in as you see him celebrate, a kickoff return there to kind of open up the scoring in that game. Blowing the kisses to the crowd. I believe he even got the referee involved, right? Kind of got into the scrum a little bit. But you're looking at a Marco Beltran that has been starting for College Park since he was a freshman, right? Even, you know, when Lonnie Madison was still the coach there, Coach Coates, right? Big shout out to Kyle Coates, head coach, athletic director at College Park. Which gave us, you know, his blessing, right? You know, to allow us to help promote his kids, because Coach Coates gets it, right? He understands that we're here to be an asset and not to be a detriment. And anything that we can do to help, you know, bring his guys on. These are his words, right? He's forward. And so, you know, getting to watch him take over the program and what he's utilized Marco's full skills and abilities, I think we're getting to see it all under display, Jake, for the past 2 seasons. And now we're going into year 3 of getting to see like that final, you know, swan song.
Yeah. He is the reigning District 13 6A Utility Player of the Year. And in that game, which we were at personally against Conroe, he obviously started on defense, lockdown safety, and the field general out there for the Cavs. But he also started on offense as the running back for the College Park Cavaliers. And he obviously returned punts and kicks. He did have a punt return touchdown that really kicked down the door and started the floodgate for what College Park was going to do on the scoreboards during that game. But love to see Marco getting involved in as many ways as possible. He even kicked for the team last year and was one of the top punters in District 13 6A last year. So it shows how valuable a guy like Marco Beltran is, of having the mindset of, wherever you put me on the field, I'm happy to be out there, and I will prove to you that I am a value at where you've just put me. It's a lot of trust that goes into that, and a great mental aspect, a mental fortitude, if you will, for what Marco Beltran is as a player.
Exactly. And, you know, I love the fact that he's already getting recruited. He's currently, last weekend, he was at Montana State, right, on a visit there, currently holds 5 offers. But he wants more, and he wants bigger offers, and I don't blame him, because the talent on that young man warrants him getting, you know, a group of 5 offer, in my opinion, at the very least. You know, Coach Coates and I talked pregame, and we both laughed because all these schools are reaching out and they're asking about him, and we're just like, what are you waiting on? Like, what else more do you need to see? It's kind of like when Jay-Z said on his last album, like, what more else can I say? Right? What more can I do? Right? So Marco was saying, like, what else do you need to see? I can punt, I can cover, I can run the ball, I can be a special team specialist. What do you need me to do? I mean, I can kick the ball to myself. I can do whatever you need me to do to help a program win. Most importantly, he's a great young man, comes from an amazing family, and he is another guy that will not get you fired.
No.
So
good stalwart, good additional piece to what his future endeavors are going to be, and obviously here at the Protect U crew. And we shift gears a little bit to the private school sectors, but guys that are just as deserving of the attention and just as deserving of the publicity as our public school guys, because they got some dogs hiding over there in the public school sectors.
Or the private school, yes.
The private school sectors. But we start out with the John Cooper Boys, a program that has been very gracious in its support of Protection United, and we love to return the favor because they got some big dogs over there at John Cooper repping the Dragons, and it starts.
They do. And before you jump in, too, I just want to add, you know, like, there is a misconception about there's a big difference with private school and public school. The only difference is, guys, is the number of kids that get off the bus, right? You know, we know that the 6As are tons of kids, right? It looks like a college sideline, 105 kids for some of these schools, right? Versus a private school where you might only see 40, 45 kids on the roster. However, the talent is there. There's a lot of people that are starting to realize either A, I already got my offers, and so I can go to private school and now get a better education, which is nothing wrong with that. John Cooper is a top 25 academic school in the nation. Some people want to go because they're like, hey, I know I can play. I don't want to get caught up in the whole politics of, you know, what some public schools bring. And they are like, I can go here. Some other opportunities might present itself because it's only one quarterback that can play per school. And sometimes you want to be able to say that I can go out and compete and play. And so, you know, just kind of wanted to put that out there just because I think a lot of people are, you know, thinking you can't get recruited if you go to private school. Well, IMG is a private school. Mater Dei is a private school. Bishop Norman is a private school. All those schools started somewhere, right? And so if they're in the other big states, other football states, and they're holding it down, why not here as well in Texas?
Yeah, no doubt. And one guy that I feel like handily breaks the misconception of the discrepancy of talent in the public school versus the private schools is our first guy here for John Cooper, big body Lucas Triplet. And yeah, I think that picture speaks for itself. That is a daunting threat inside of the heart of the Dragon defense, holding it down at that nose guard position. If you're trying to run up the gut, that's the first guy that you have to meet in the hole.
Yeah. No, Lucas is a monster. Known this young man since he was about 8 years old as well. Came up in the SCFL ranks. Started off at the Magnolia School District. I think he was at Bear Branch, never made it to the high school, and then came over, which, by the way, that smoke, that green smoke.
Clean.
Like, I will say the pregame there is different. It does give a college feel with how much goes into the production. So big shout out to John Hoy, athletic director there, and his production team. But, I mean, yeah, you look at Lucas, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a run. He plays the RPO game so well. Like, notice how he keeps his head up, even out of a double team, right? He's keeping his head on the football. He's understanding his assignment, and he's not getting pushed back. That's the thing that's so impressive with Lucas is that even with the double team, right, I mean, he still knows how to fight off a block. I mean, he just looks the part. I mean, he's a monster. He shoots that gap. Once again, eyes on the football, great tackle on the QB. I mean, and look at him, right, deflects. And it's not like, once again, right, you're looking at that right guard. That's a kid that will be going to play collegiate football somewhere, right, 70, right, as well on their offensive line. I mean, so you see that he's not going against kids that shouldn't be out there playing, that couldn't play on other levels because these kids came from those levels, right? I mean, this school here literally had 8 kids that came in from Clear Lake High School, which is a 6A program on the south side of Houston. So, but yeah, you're looking at Lucas, I mean, just once again, looking for the football, ball hawk, and doing phenomenal.
And I like it, too, that he showed a lot of never quit attitude on the defensive line, which is a very underrated aspect of a defensive lineman. We've seen sometimes, I think back to that Albert Hainsworth clip when he was playing with the former Washington Redskins, where he gets knocked down and then he just gives up on the play. You saw there that Lucas is a guy that through a double team, through a chip block, he's still going to want to get involved in the play. A double team where he's got 2 guys on him, the ball ends up on the ground, he's still in on it, is keeping his head on the ball. Where is it? And once he sees it come out, he goes right back into it to try and make another play. So that's such an underrated value of a defensive lineman. And Lucas is a guy who is confident in his abilities too. He was talking to us before the game, Jay, he was like, hey, y'all watch this. Something special is going to happen.
And then after the game, he let us know, hey, what'd I tell you? So, no, he's definitely got that dog mentality in him. And once again, another great young man that, any college in the nation will be blessed to garner his services.
Yes, very special guy, very big guy. And from one big man to another, from the defensive side now to the offensive side, is a man whose last name is very deceiving because Colin Weeks is anything but. That is a fortress over at the left tackle position for John Cooper.
I mean, what is that, 6'7", 309? I mean, of course, look at him next to Lucas there. Great picture of him. Obviously, Jake Sneed behind him, which we'll talk about here in a second. But, I mean, look at the big fella pulling. I mean, just baby face. That's the thing that's crazy. Like, I don't even think he's hit puberty yet, right? I mean, 6'7", 305, 2027. I mean, just the monster on the edge, right? I mean, the kid is, great feet. He's a baseball kid. The kid can surf. He can ski. I can't wait to do a TikTok, where he's skiing and catching a baseball at the same time. I think that'll be pretty cool and a potential viral candidate. Oh, wait, we're on the wrong one. Computer Jesus.
Nope, you got it.
Oh, wait, that's right.
Going up against 2 guys as well.
Look at that. There he is.
2-man assignment. He chips up number 6 just enough to buy his quarterback some time, and then he gets up to that next level, too. We talk a lot about that, having the knowledge of an offensive lineman to get to that second level, to provide just a little bit more space for your running back. And Colin is already showing that, despite, like you said, football not being his initial first love. This guy was a baseball player for a majority of his career. And now that he's locked in on football, you're starting to see those raw attributes, those measurables benefit him as he gains the technique pieces of his game.
I agree. And, just another great young man came to us. Mom and dad said, hey, help our son, right? Was in baseball and football. Now he's all in on football. And he's like, look, I this is what I want. Baseball was fun, but football is my true love and my passion. And, can't wait. He's going to be going to Texas State visit because now people are starting to recognize, and let's be real, Jake, linemen don't grow on trees, right? You can train to be faster, stronger, but you can't train to be a monster. And that's what he is, right? And, Colin is a kid and a young man that can protect the blind side. I think he could play right tackle as well at the collegiate level. Maybe some interior. I think he's tall to be that tackle. And we all know tackles are important. Tackles all the way up to the NFL, you need good tackles. And Colin possesses that. And I love the athleticism that he shows to where you can pull him. He can kind of set up. He knows how to break down. Every clip that we saw on that young man, if you watch his feet and watch his hand placement, you'll see that he understands what he needs to do, whether he's turning his butt into the hole, caving guys down. Those are the things that I know the college coaches are going crazy over.
Yeah, love it. And then the guy that he was protecting in the backfield and the guy that was delivering a lot of those dimes to for John Cooper put on a show in the game that we were at last week.
Oh, that 100-yard or that 85-yard
run. That was good.
Oh, man.
That was good. And we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're talking about Colson Collins, the quarterback for the John Cooper School. And boy, howdy, does this guy get me excited to watch his film. We were doing a little bit of a dry run in the studio here before we got going live. And Colson's highlight reel started to pull up here as we get some beautiful shots. Shout out to Lee, our photographer, for helping us out there, as well as Hunter to get some good angles of John Cooper. But this highlight reel speaks volumes to the accuracy and the great playability of a guy like Colson Collins. You see the high point delivery here, putting this ball in a place where only his receiver can go up and get it.
Love it. No, I love that. I mean, great post route, great hands for sure. But yes, I mean, like those balls there, as you see, I mean, just in the quick release, I mean, and look at that. I mean, just putting it right on the money. Interesting route combinations because the other receiver was right there too, so he had to put that in a tight window. But you're looking at a Colson Collins that's been starting over there since his freshman year. He's now into his junior year. He knows the offense. He's got a great offensive coaching staff that's putting him in positions to be successful, running a lot of RPOs as well. But you're getting to see, I mean, look at that. Just a great hitch, stop and go. But like you see the shoulder just to get the corner of the bite. His footwork, his release. I mean, he trains with Jordan Palmer, one of the best quarterback trainers in the nation. Guy that's a part of Elite 11 as well. And I mean, look at the progression. Notice how his helmet turned to the left to hold that safety, and then he comes back to the backside post. I mean, it's just the little things that I know college coaches are going to go crazy over as they really grade this young man as he continues to progress. But I mean, obviously busted coverage, but you still got to make the throw. Still got to understand where it needs to be, thrown, intentionally underthrown because you don't want to miss, right? We saw a lot of misses in the NFL this Sunday, a couple that hurt fantasy football-wise. But Colson didn't let us down, right? He can get the screen game going. I don't know if any of his highlight clips show his speed, but he's running a 4.5 40 laser right now. Can throw on the run. I mean, this young man is just a great athlete. I wish we had that clip from last Friday. I don't know if it's on here or not, but either way, great young man. Happy for Colson, and honored to be representing him, and can't wait to get him going in the recruiting game.
Yeah, and it's good, too, to see the elusiveness of a quarterback back there. Not a guy who's all stiff-legged and just standing like a statue in the pocket. He recognizes that when that pressure collapses in on him, he has that strong option of rolling out like you saw there during those highlight reels, or also stepping in, ducking the shoulder, evading to find just a little bit more time for his receivers because he's surrounded by some great tools, and a great quarterback should know, I need to get the ball into my playmakers' hands in the time that benefits them. Don't get it to them too early, especially don't get it to them too late, knowing when that route is going to break at just the right time to put the ball in the breadbasket and hit your man in stride, Jay.
Yeah, no, and I'm excited for him, right? You know, he currently holds one offer with Nicholls State, but we expect a good number more offers to come Colson's way as the season progresses.
And one of his better weapons, I would say, and one of his bigger weapons on the offensive side is a guy that we saw there earlier, and that is Jake Sneed, the tight end for John Cooper. This guy, when we were doing some post-game photos and doing some post-game interviews, was a towering presence from the tight end position. I stand there at about 6 foot, maybe 6'3" on a good day. He was towering about a head over me.
Yeah.
And not just a very imposing threat physically, but a great threat in the receiving game as well. We have a highlight here of him coming out of the down position in the 3-point stance from a tight end spot. Looks like I'm blocking, high points it, and then a little bit of swagger on it.
Look at the swag, baby. Look at him. The spin with the head bouncing and twirling around. Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
It's good to have a little swag. You know, Jake, great kid, great young man. Another specimen, right? The tight end position is so important, not only on the collegiate level, but as well as in the pros. And, you know, with Jake, you know, now another baseball kid that's now all in on football. Now we're going to get to watch him really put that transition into his body, right? You know, we learned about it a little bit in regards to Michael Jordan, right, with The Last Dance, about how hard it was to transform your body from a basketball player to a baseball player, because baseball is so different and you have to use different muscles. So now Jake is going to have to transform and continue to transform. He worked very hard over the summer to get that done, and now we're starting to see it all come to fruition. And once again, another great get here for the Protect U crew, and I cannot wait to continue to help his journey. And he's another 2027, right? I think these kids are learning, Jake, and understanding that it's better to get in a year before instead of trying to wait until the last minute to get involved in the recruiting game and building these relationships and allowing us an opportunity to get more schools to get, you know, you on their radar.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better, Jay. A great opportunity for him to increase that brand recognition, increase his name recognition,
Right.
as well as one of the likely best tight end threats in the 2027 class, and continuing to be a great option out there at John Cooper. But the team that John Cooper was going up against when we were out there last week was none other than Lutheran South. We have great connections out there, and now we have a great talent out there, as well as one of the best lockdown presences I have seen at the high school level. I am, of course, talking about Ikenna Bradford. This guy, you sick him on a team's #1 option, and you will not hear from them for the rest of the night.
I agree, Jake. I mean, look, I'm just going to say, like, this kid was on an island, man-to-man press coverage, zero safety help. Zero safety help over the top. They literally were running a cover 2 high, but it looked like a cover 1 high with the extra safety on the opposite side of Ikenna. Ikenna was locked down, right? You know, we've seen a lot of guys in other clips ball out. Let's just say that the outside receivers had issues getting loose Friday night. You know, Ikenna was really one of the only bright spots for his school in that thrashing that they took Friday night against John Cooper. But Ikenna did it all, right? Whether it was lockdown, whether it was, you know, support on special teams. I mean, right here is probably one of the best plays.
Physicality, forcing his guy outside, no pass interference, and then even diving down to ensure that there's no chance of an interception is really something to marvel at for a guy like him, to have that type of mentality of put me on an assignment and I'm going to make sure that I reward you.
No, exactly. Right. Another 2027. We're very honored to be representing this young man. You know, Rod Kinney, appreciate you, right? Just another connection, because when we talked to Dre Bradford, Kenna's father, he said, if you represent the Kinney boys, I want you representing my boy. Direct quote, Jake, you should remember that. I think he was getting a haircut or a tattoo. Something was going on, but I remember him telling us that. And then he had to go get back on the roof because he had to get back to work because he owns his own roofing company. But needless to say, Ikenna is a dog, right? DBs are not a dime a dozen. And with his height and his physicality, you know, he will be another guy that will be on a ton of schools' radars, right? And we expect big things for Ikenna Bradford. Already starting to field calls, right? Already starting to get people now that we put them out here, now that, our guys are going to be now able to put the Protect You crew and tagging, my personal Twitter page, BJ Scoggins, as well as yours, Jake. Now the word can spread for all of our guys, and we're going to be able to help get them more offers.
And we like to show the love to the very faithful families of these athletes as well. We were out there for maybe 5 minutes, and I think I fielded more parents in the 5-minute post-game section where I'm doing interviews with the guys than I have ever had at any other school. So it speaks a lot to the great support that these athletes have from the top of their families and their coaches all the way down to brothers, sisters, cousins, things like that. There's a lot that goes into it and a lot that makes these guys valued members of the Protect You crew. And with those additions in, Jay, we have one last segment here where we like to test you. I've tested you a couple of times on your knowledge of some of the high school guys, some of the college guys, but now we're going to expand a little bit even farther here, Jay.
Y'all always come with it. So are you a computer Jesus, just like have these secret meetings without me?
Well, it wouldn't be a secret if we told you, Jay. So I cannot disclose that information.
Okay.
But Jay, your background, you come from the heart of SEC country.
Okay.
Born in Memphis, Tennessee, is that correct? So
correct.
Born and raised Memphis, Tennessee, heart of the deep South. Not quite Dixie, but deep South, right? Okay. So with that in mind, and with a couple of our guys playing for some of the pillars of the Southeastern Conference, I think that it would be best if we tested your knowledge on some of the houses, the cathedrals to college football that these guys play in. So Jay, I put together a list of 10 of the SEC's stadiums. Some of the largest, some of the most iconic stadiums that college football is played in. So are you ready to go into what these stadiums might be and you take your guess on where they play?
Okay. I'm ready.
All right.
I think I'm gonna do good on this one. I thought y'all were setting me up, but I feel good about this.
Okay. I'm glad that you're confident on it. So the way this is going to work is we're going to show one image of the stadium with all of the logos censored.
Okay.
So that way you won't have any clear indication as to who it is that plays there. Now, some shots may have fans that might be giveaways, but you're going to have to use a little bit of intuition on some of these. All right, Jay? All right. So
ready.
Justin, Computer Jesus, could you please pull up the first stadium that we have on the docket? So there's your first stadium. No logos whatsoever. Might look just like a generic stadium, but talk me through your thought process here,
Okay,
Jay.
so I see the round wideness of the side. It looks like there's some hedges down there, which means that we're playing in between the hedges. So I'm going to go with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia Bulldogs is your guess, Jay. You would be incorrect on your first guess. This is not Sanford Stadium. This is Bryant-Denny Stadium. You can see on that back wall there, the Alabama Crimson Tide lettering on the back wall. So it's very close, but that is Bryant-Denny Stadium, or
Madison's going to kill me.
Better known now as Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Seats 177 and 77 people.
Almost 200,000 people.
Fifth largest stadium in the conference, eighth largest in the U.S., 10th largest stadium in the world.
Okay.
Named, obviously, after Nick Saban, Paul Bear Bryant, and then former school president George H. Denny. So that's where you get Bryant-Denny Stadium from.
Okay.
And she opened in 1929.
Wow.
One of the older stadiums that we have on this list. And so 0 for 1 so far, Jay, but I think I got confidence that you can rebound here pretty quickly as we get our next.
From Tennessee, so I can't, Bama was never.
You can't show Bama any sort of credit coming from a Tennessee background. But we move now into our next censored stadium.
Okay, ready.
Could you please pull up our next one? All right, so some clear indications. This is an older version of this stadium, I might add.
Oh, man. That's so.
But, Jay, who plays here?
Oh, no. Man, hold up. I mean, I see the orange.
Okay.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to go with your Texas Longhorns.
Darrell K. Royal Stadium is correct, Jay. This is the old version of DKR. It would have been a dead giveaway if we used the new stadium because the old stands there in the far end zone would have been the Longhorn in the middle of it. But yes, this is DK, our home of the Texas Longhorns. 100,119 is the seating capacity for this one.
Okay.
Fourth largest stadium in the SEC, seventh in the country, ninth largest in the world. Opened in 1924.
Okay.
So 5 years older than Bryant-Denny, named obviously after legendary coach Darrell K. Royal. And it is Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, as this is dedicated to all of the Texans who fought and died in World War I.
Okay.
All right. So that one is University of Texas. And now we have our next one. And another one that might be a little bit of a giveaway based on the stands here, but excellent censor job there on MS Paint from yours truly, Jay.
Okay.
Who plays here?
I see the maroon.
But there are a couple of maroon schools in the
Mississippi
SEC.
State's there as well as A&M. Can you zoom in on the cheerleaders?
I don't think we can.
Zoom in? Because then that would give it. Okay, but I'm going to go with the Aggies, Texas A&M.
And that is a double-edged question there, Jay, and an excellent job because Texas A&M is correct, and Texas A&M famously does not have cheerleaders. They have the yell leaders. This is Kyle Field, home of the fighting Texas Aggies. 102,733, the largest stadium in the SEC, fourth largest in the U.S., and the sixth largest stadium in the world. Opened in 1927, just a few years after Big Bro down in Austin, named after Edwin Jackson Kyle, who was a professor on how plants grow back when A&M was all about agriculture.
Okay.
So you got your back above 500, 2-1 as of right now, Jay. And we got a couple of ones here that might be pretty obvious based on the layouts of the stadium. But Jay, our next stadium here is another SEC staple. Jay, where is this?
Oh,
Who plays
baby.
Here?
Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. Tennessee Vols. Let's get it.
That is correct.
Neyland Stadium.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You know the name of this
I know
one?
it.
The iconic.
I know. I've been in that stadium.
The iconic checkerboard of Neyland Stadium.
Let's get it.
Home of the Tennessee Volunteers. Third largest stadium in the SEC at 101,061. Sixth largest in the U.S. Opened in 1921. This is the oldest stadium that we have on the list, if I am correct. No, second oldest stadium, but she stands tall and proud, and named after General Robert Neyland, former Tennessee athletic director and coach of the football team. So a lot of history and a lot of great moments have happened here inside of Neyland Stadium. But Jay, you're on a roll now.
Hey man, I'm on a Samara Coleman roll.
That's you are. Now up to 3-1. Let's see if you can match her at that 7-1 mark and potentially exceed it for what TCU has been going through. So now our next one is another one that is a staple of the SEC. Jay, what stadium is this and who plays here?
Okay. I got it wrong the first time.
Okay.
I'm going to get it right this time. The Georgia Bulldogs.
Playing in between the hedges.
Yes.
You are correct, Jay. This is Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium, home of the Georgia Bulldogs and our man Justin Williams.
Yep.
Capacity of 93,033, one of the smaller stadiums that we've gotten to, but still sixth largest in the SEC and a top 10 stadium in the U.S. Opened in 1929, named after Dr. Stedman Vincent Sanford, former school president for when it was first broken ground on. So good pull on that one and a good job there. And obviously the color coordination of the faithful red and black brigade out there at Georgia helping you out. But our next stadium here is another one that is iconic, but not for the reason that it is named after. So let's pull up this next stadium, Jay, one that you might have a very good guess as to what this is. Jay, what stadium is this? Who plays here?
Gator Bait. The Florida Gators. That is the Swamp, or being something. I call it the Swamp.
You are correct, Jay. So this is the Swamp, home of the Florida Gators, and it is called Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is the official name of it, but more affectionately known as the Swamp.
Yeah.
Home of the Florida Gators, 88,554 is the seating capacity, seventh largest in the SEC, 12th in the U.S., opened in 1930.
Okay.
And the reason you may not know who it's named after is it is named after former Florida alumni and citrus magnate Ben Hill Griffin Jr. So a staple in the citrus industry. But if you're going to be a staple in the citrus industry, what better state to do it than Florida?
Florida, you're right. Oranges and Florida go hand in hand.
That they do.
Can you spell Florida without oranges?
You literally cannot, Jay. You literally cannot.
I don't know. Either way, yes.
But you're on a roll again.
What
Jay.
am I, 5-1 now?
You are
4-1?
You are 5-1. You've only missed Bryant and Denny, but that one was tough. That one was tough. Just a blank stadium, no fans, no coloration.
Man, it's like when Nick Saban left, he took all the
He took everything. All the fans went with him.
He just gutted the whole stadium out. Jeez.
And now another one that you may have I'll throw you a bone here on this one. Should be another pretty easy one for you, but one that you have a little bit of personal experience with as well.
Oh,
Jay,
no.
Who is this and who plays here?
Yeah. Ayo, LSU Tigers.
This is the home of the LSU Tigers. Tiger Stadium does not have any other tricky name, no sponsored name, anything like that. It has been Tiger Stadium since she opened in 1924, also known as Death Valley.
Death Valley. That's right. Yeah.
You hate to play a night game. You hate to play a night game in Baton Rouge.
I will say they were very nice to us at LSU. Maybe because La Tech's like their little brother.
Could be.
I don't know how they were for the Gator fans, but they didn't play Nick. And for the ones that know the lyrics that they turned that song into, that was very kind of them.
Yes.
But very accommodating at the tailgates. You know, LSU fans said they were even going to be rooting for Jalen.
There you go.
Right. You and I got a call at 3:00 with some of their sports media guys, right, that we got to meet while we were there. And I like LSU.
Yeah, LSU, Death Valley, home of the Baton Rouge, go Tigers, and the Tigers down there of the Bayou Bengals. Second largest stadium in the SEC, 102,321, just behind Kyle Field. Fifth largest stadium in the U.S., seventh largest stadium on the planet.
Wow. Inside
of Baton Rouge. So you are guaranteed to finish well above 500 so far, Jay. You are 8-1, and we have one last stadium here.
Let's go, baby.
One that might trip you up here as we get our next image of this SEC stadium. Jay, who is this and who plays here?
Oh, man. Okay. I see red.
Okay.
I botched the Bama one.
Okay.
I got the Georgia right. There only at least one school that has red left.
All right. And who might that be?
Ooh, Pig, Suey, Arkansas, Razorbacks.
Jay, you are incorrect.
Oh.
Razorbacks. This is Ole Miss. Oh, no. These are the Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, we weren't calling the Hogs? I thought we were calling the Hogs.
Nope. This is Ole Miss Stadium.
You got me.
This is Vaught Hemingway Stadium, home of the Ole Miss Rebels, and it is the oldest stadium on our list. Opened and broke ground in 1915.
Dang. The same stadium?
Yes, a couple of renovations, obviously, between then and now. But yes, this is the same grounds as the original stadium, Vaught Hemingway, named after former coach Johnny Vaught and Judge William Hemingway of Deep Dixie and the Ole Miss Rebels. The smallest stadium that we got to on the list, only seats 64,000, but still quite the cathedral for SEC football. But 8-2, Jay, that ain't bad.
I know.
That ain't bad.
I know. I appreciate it. Dang it.
But
it's Bama and Ole Miss.
But those were some curveballs. I knew I had to throw a couple curveballs because if I'm giving you a Neyland with the checkerboard and stands, I knew I had to throw at least one curveball in there for you.
No, I like it. But I'm like Joe Boo. I can hit the fastball, but I can't hit the curveball.
Hey, you hit them above 500, and I think that's all that matters.
I agree.
That's all that matters. Jay. And all that matters is that this was another great episode of the Protect You podcast.
This was fun.
Yes, this was a great one, Jay. This is one that I'll look back on and be like, man, I like the way that one went. And it was due in no small part to the great help that we received from many of the parents and the athletes of the Protect You crew, our newest additions, sending in videos, sending in pictures, highlights, and whatnot. It truly does mean the most to have this true outpouring of support from everybody that has been involved in the Protect U process.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. Good shout. Appreciate, once again, Jalen's fiance, Hannah. Thank you so much for getting that video. Guys, please, we encourage everyone to send those videos in to us. We want to get y'all on here. We want to give you guys shout outs, tag your Instagram or your Twitter pages, right? And continue to build this thing out. But we do appreciate everyone that watches and supports us. And we're having fun with this.
Yeah, we are. That we are, Jay, and we're having fun. We'll keep her rolling into next week, but that does it for this episode of the Protect You podcast. As always, Jake Wilson, Jay Mickens, and our excellent producer, Justin Woods, behind the scenes. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll catch you on the next one. See you around.